Hey guys, it's Tape the Grape, and today's video is going to be showing you my new ride. This is the replacement for the 2000 Mercury Grand Marquis. I actually bought this the day before I actually sold the Mercury. I mentioned it in one of the clips in that video, if you want to look at that, or if you caught that. Anyway, it is a 2005 Honda Pilot. It is a one owner from New Mexico, although you'll notice it has a little bit of rust, so it must have spent some time here in the Rust Belt. But overall, it's pretty clean for the year. Runs and drives great, of course. I'll show you the interior. As you can see, rocker panels are good. Unless that's just a plastic cover, I'm not sure. I'll get underneath and show you. The worst of the rust that's visible is here on this side. That down there. Same story on the other side right there. Let me scoot back a little bit. Got my temporary license plate on it, because that brings up another thing. It's the first vehicle I ever bought from a dealership. Now, this car was actually sitting at that dealership for a while. It's high miles, has front end damage, as you can see. There's the rust again. But anyway, give me 1 second. As I was saying, it has higher miles, 252,000. But there's some good news about it. And let me show you the underside real fast. Again, it's a little crusty, but me and my buddy, it was actually Annoy Motors, my buddy, that pointed me in the direction of this thing. He was looking at it himself. They had dropped the price down to $999. Again, it's not bad at all. Of course, the main thing to look out for is the subframes on these, and again, this one's fairly good. But anyway, so yeah, he saw my video I made of selling my car. Well, not selling my car, the video I made of the Mercury having issues, because that was beforehand. And we had talked about it, and he said, well, I know of one, a perfect vehicle, cheap, and it's a reliable daily driver. Well, anyway, let's look at the interior now. It has, I believe it's the tan. It's kind of more brown in my opinion. Well, tan here. It's got a little bit of ripped leather seats. It's the higher trim package, the EXL, by the way, if I didn't mention. But anyway, digital, not digital dash, but digital miles. I'll show you that once we do a startup. But it's in really nice shape, of course. It's got all the extra cool little storage pockets and whatnot, like that. The old flip phone, all that cool stuff. The radio works, but I need to get the code from the Honda dealership to see about it, running. Also, I didn't realize my flashlight was on. Give me one moment. Sorry about that. Keep having cars drive past me interrupting, but that's all right. It's a road. Again, back seat. It's in really nice shape. And what's really cool about this, I got my tissues in there, of course. Ones I had in the back glass on my Mercury. Put my dog seat belts in there, of course, homemade ones. The one cool thing about this thing, it's actually a third row, and I haven't actually opened that. My nephew did when I first got the car, because I didn't have this rubber mat in at the time, or it wasn't in place. He looked at it, I didn't look at it. So just for you on video, I'm gonna pull up the third row and show you guys. Here's what that looks like, completely cleared. Again, it was taken really good care of, and that, again, I'll get to that in a moment, how I know it was taken good care of. You can just see very little stainage, if any at all. Tiny little nitpicky things, nothing terrible. But anyway, let's pull up that third row. Oh, shit. Maybe I'll do it off camera. I don't have the leverage. Now look at that. That looks pristine. I have a feeling that is probably rarely, if ever, used. Carpet looks brand new back there. Let's look underneath. Yeah, that looks good. I bet you this back was never used. This back third row. Again, or maybe once. Who knows? Regardless, that's in great shape. Third row SUV in this day and age I'll tell you how much I spent out the door. Only $1,564 after taxes and dealership fees. And it runs and drives great. And I'll get to the engine right now. Here's another view of the third row from the front. So you can see, very nice and roomy. Oh, the headliner is a little saggy. It's got a little bit of cigarette burns or whatever, but that's nitpicky stuff. Oh, and it's got the working sunroof. I don't want to mess with it right now because it's supposed to rain. And my luck, it might get stuck. But it works. Trust me, it works. I'm not a big fan of them. I don't even really care about them, to be completely honest. But for those that like it, it has a working one. But anyway... And for the sake of the video, here's the third row up from the back view. Looks pretty good. That's awesome. And there's just more and more that I keep forgetting about. This little compartment here, you open it up, and you got your 3 headrests for the third row. Don't know what this wire is. I did notice this has some nasty, sticky stuff all over it. I have no idea what it is. Like... spilled all over. I really don't know. Left some residue there. Something to clean up in the future. This one's sticky too. Regardless, this wire here, let me know if you know what that is. I have no idea. Maybe for towing, probably. I don't know. Because it does have the tailgate, although I'm not towing with this thing. But anyway. Now under the hood, and as I mentioned, I'll show you more of the damage that happened here. But it's got the 3.5 VTEC. From what I did on research, apparently it's like a fake VTEC. It's not quite VTEC. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I looked it up wrong. Who knows? But it's the J35 transitional period V6 of this. Apparently the 2003 and 4 was a older style. This was a transition year. And then the 2006 after this with the facelift of the first gen was a different one. This is like the one-off type of one. Again, if you're more of a Honda knower than I am, or a Honda geek, this is my first Honda, so I'm not sure. I just know that they were reliable. Those engines are very reliable if you take care of them. But anyway, the cool thing about it, timing belt was just done in 2022 at 226,000 miles. It has only been around, what, 26,000 more miles put on, 152,000, somewhere around there, I don't know. You can tell some parts have been replaced. I can't point them out right now, but I remember we had looked at it and my buddy pointed them out that you could tell. New battery, well, newer, 2024, and what else? Oh yeah, new radiator. I looked over here, moved this little plastic thing, and it says Spectra 2019, which brings me on to another thing, the damage here on the radiator. This is just the AC condenser. Sorry if I'm talking a little fast. This AC condenser's all gouged up and stuff. You notice the radiator is a little bent, but it does not leak. AC doesn't work, but I don't really care about AC. That's not a concern for me. But anyway, yeah, the radiator works, and because it was a replacement radiator and it's not rusty, I don't have to worry about SMOD, SMOD, Strawberry Milkshake of Death, that these pilots, and same with like the Nissans and stuff of the era had. They have an internal transmission cooler in the radiator and they can leak at the fittings, but that's all new. That's something I'll replace in due time, but it's fine. Alright, so finally in the interior, going to start it up. Starts right up, no hesitation. And what's really awesome about this, you'll see it says maintenance required. I think it's an oil change thing or something along those lines. But anyway, no, what do they call it? No check engine light or anything on. The people that own this really took good care of it, got everything you needed replaced when needed, and then some. The only light that does come on is the TPMS, that's the tire pressure management system thing, and I don't really care about that anyway. They've probably been replaced with factory, or not factory ones, with aftermarket rubber ones, or whatever it may be. Regardless, that's not an important thing. Also, if you notice a little emblem at the bottom, you open a door, awesome. It'll show all the doors that are open and stuff. So as I said, 252,000 miles. It's 51 degrees outside. I'm with my seatbelt on, and we'll take it for a spin. Alright, so whoops, I almost grabbed the wiper stuff. I'm not used to having a bunch of gear selector type things. Let's go forward here. Sorry, I'm a little sniffly. It was like 60 degrees, then 70 degrees. Now it's getting cold again, sadly. So the weather change will really mess me up here. Heat works fantastic in this thing. Probably the best heat I've ever had anything, apart from probably my 95 Chevy truck, my first one. That had hot heat, but a lot of GMs have hot heat, I've noticed. Drives great. It's got a lot of pep in its step, I should say. It's the highest horsepower vehicle I've ever owned. It's got 45 horsepower, something like that, which by today's standards probably isn't a lot. To me, considering I'm used to shit like that Aries wagon with what, 84 horsepower or something, I don't know. This is a power wagon in my opinion. Dodge joke intended, I mean to say. Even though this ain't a Dodge, Honda. One interesting thing I found out though, the Saturn Vue used this engine. Pretty interesting. Same, what I was about to show you the gear selector down there. It's on the column. It's a, I believe a 6-speed automatic. Which I always thought more gears, the more complex and more time it's gonna cause trouble. Or I don't know. Anyway, let's look at this real quick. Hopefully I got the wheel in the shot. I like doing that on all my videos. But yeah, no, I've owned this about a week and a half, or 2.5 weeks rather. Again, I meant to make the videos a lot sooner, but I didn't. And this thing is great. Probably the fanciest car I've ever owned. It's not the newest car I've ever owned. The HHR was a 2007, but that was an econo box compared to this, in my opinion. And I'll park this in the back. I got work later today, so we'll do that. There's the wagon parked up. Gonna get it ready for spring here in the next month or so. It'll probably be ready by summer. But anyway, let me back up. But overall, this car is amazing. I love it so far. Again, I've only had it 2.5 weeks, but like I said, it's probably the fanciest car I've ever owned. And it ain't new, but to me, it seems very, very new. It seems very modern compared to all the old clunky stuff, let's be real, that I've owned. But anyway, let me know what you think, and I hope you enjoyed.